welcome to another episode of Awaz-e-Haqiqat, which translates to the voice of truth. I'm your host, Chris Malika Bhadra, and depending on whichever part of the world you're listening to me from, today it's a very uplifting and a very unusual conversation that I'm about to have with my guest. We speak about rape, we speak about assault, given the conditions our countries back in South Asia are in. I was born and raised in India. My guest is from Pakistan, so our countries rate quite high when it comes to assault. But what my guest is doing is so noble that I have to bring her on and speak to her. She is trying to rehabilitate rape victims. She started her own line of costumes and wardrobe where she is giving employment to rape victim. I wouldn't say victim, I'm sorry, rape survivors. And on that note, I'm so privileged to be speaking with Dr. Zupash Khan. Dr. Zupash is a medical doctor turned social entrepreneur, driven by a passion to empower sexual assault survivors in Pakistan. Through her latest initiative, Zayleen Ateliers, she provides a safe space for survivors to rebuild their lives. By offering stable income opportunities through fashion design and production, she enables them to regain financial independence. Parallelly, she facilitates mental rehabilitation and support, helping them heal and overcome their trauma. Zupash's ultimate goal is to create a supportive ecosystem where survivors can thrive, rebuild their confidence, and finally reclaim their lives. And on that note, Zupash, very good afternoon. Thank you for giving me this time. How are you doing?
You're welcome. I'm very good. How are you?
Not too bad, not too bad. It's such a
Thanks for
pleasure.
having me.
No. It's my pleasure because when I speak to people like you, it kind of just helps me become a better person. And what you're doing, Zupash, is so very noble. I mean, hats off to you right at the front of the conversation. All right,
Thank you.
starting with the first things first, Zupash, is how did you come up with the idea of founding Zayleen Atelier, and who or what was your motivation behind it?
Okay, so I'll come to the name first. How did I name it?
Oh,
Um, I had two boys, and then I really wanted to have a daughter. Like, what do you call it? Ultimate goal, dream, whatever. I wanted to have a daughter.
hmm,
So we named her Eileen.
hmm.
So
What does that
my name
mean?
starts with
What
Z.
does Eileen mean?
It means that there's this shadow around moon.
Okay. Hmm.
It's that thing. And my name means that the dawn, like the first ray of the sun.
Hmm.
So that uh, being the core, what do you call it? The soul
Right.
of the entire project. I had to name it, and Z star is my name, the first letter of my name, and Eileen, so it became Zayleen.
Wow.
And I think my journey with Zayleen Ateliers, it started long before I even realized.
Hmm.
Like as a woman, I've
Hmm.
always had this natural affinity for colors and clothing. I mean, every woman has it, and it's almost like it's in my DNA. वो तो
Right.
सबका होता है.
Right.
I love designing, creating clothes for myself, my loved ones, families, and I think that this creative spark just grew over time.
Hmm.
And what really brought Zayleen Ateliers to life was my own personal experience.
Hmm.
I was raised by a single mother
Right.
who worked really, really hard to give me like everything
Hmm.
me or my siblings ever wanted. And her economic independence after my dad's passing away was something she cherished deeply. I mean,
Hmm.
I really saw the happiness on her face. And as I grew older, I realized how important it was for me or any woman for that matter to have the same freedom.
Hmm.
Uh, Being able to work from home, at the same time spend time with my family, give time to my children,
Hmm.
um, and still do something I loved. So that was the driving force.
Hmm.
And then as a medical doctor, I couldn't shake off the feeling that I wanted to contribute in any way to the society, more to the society.
Right. Hmm.
That's when I had the idea to combine my passion for design and the desire to make a difference.
Amazing.
I thought, why not employ women who are fighting for their rights, who are survivors of sexual assault, and give them safe space और अपने घर के अंदर ही confined रह के and build their lives,
Yeah.
rebuild their lives. It's been an incredible journey so far. I feel like I'm exactly where I'm meant to be, and fingers crossed. I have a big ambition. It's very ambitious, but let's see where it goes. I'm trying my level best to make it the best.
Absolutely, Zupash. I'm pretty sure your kids are super proud of you, what you're doing, if they're understanding of what their mother is doing.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
noble.
sure.
It's so noble. Coming on to the main bit is you are trying to rehabilitate rape survivors or survivors of sexual assault, right? In our community, Zupash, you name my country or your country, rape survivor basically is left with a lot of shame and stigma, more than the perpetrator, right?
Yeah.
And this is not their fault that they were assaulted. How do you, through your startup or through Zayleen Ateliers, how do you aim to remove this societal stigma around rape?
Okay. Talking about this subcontinent ki general thinking, general perception,
Right.
that whatever happens to the woman is because of herself. It's her fault, right? And it's her fault because the women are like seen as this as a subordinate to men in the society. It's like bas aapne subordinate hi banna hai, nothing else. And if you go anything beyond that, you become a victim of something, you get harassed, a lot more things, right? So I come from a very positive mindset, right? I want to provide them a very safe space. Chahe wo it's their home. It's a place where they feel that there's a karkhana, if I aim to open one, if there's a karkhana which they feel that they can come out from their homes and sit and do their work,
Right.
and feel confident, safe, and cherish that time over there. I mean, making a small karkhana or industry out of this, or a working space out of this, won't be a big deal. But the main thing is that would the victims or survivors, are they going to feel safe over there? Are they going to feel happy over there? Am I providing the space that I want to have for myself or anybody else, or my daughter or my sister or my mother? Am I giving the same space to them?
Right.
So that's exactly what I want. And from there, they might start telling their stories, and then art is a form of creative expression.
Yeah.
So they can tell their stories through that. They can draw, they can express, they can design, they can do whatever they want, right?
Absolutely.
And the other thing is to empower them economically. I mean, economic empowerment, financial empowerment for a woman does not mean that I give them a wage that they still have to worry about at the end of the month. Okay, I still have to work more, and I still have to, no, there should be a proper wage which can help them uh, have a comfortable life, free of worries, right?
Yeah.
कि बाहर जाके you don't have to because the stigma and the stereotyping and all that, due to that, the women don't go out.
Exactly.
They like to stay in unless they're rehabilitated in a proper way.
Yeah.
Right. Helping them regain their confidence and independence. Then everybody's born with different talents and skills, and you just have to take it out from them through proper this, what do you call it,
The
I'm just
channel,
running out of words.
just hone their
Yeah,
skills.
proper channel, or proper a conversation that helps them to showcase their skills and talents, while having the challenges, the societal stereotypes and misconceptions that are associated with. Then also, I want to build a community. I'd like to play my part to build a community that celebrates the strength and resilience of these women.
Right.
Be it domestic violence, be it women coming from a violent divorce history or sexual assault, whatever,
Right.
anybody, any woman in distress trying to earn a living through respectable ways, also trying to, make a difference. So it's not me who's making a difference. It's just an idea that I'm giving. I want them to make a difference.
I think it goes
So
both ways, Zupash. You're giving them the platform, they are coming out of their fear and just channeling their skill. I think it's a symbiotic relation that is happening.
that would also, encourage open conversations and uh,
Yes.
I think we might in some time in future normalize the narrative that it's okay to, have these kind of employees or these kind of people in your team.
Hmm.
These are not my employees, they're my team. So
Absolutely.
having these women in my team makes me feel that okay, I have such incredible women, and मुझे भी I feel that मुझे इससे काफी वो empowerment feel होती है, अच्छा feel होता है कि like they're also bringing out the talents inside, hidden inside me. I loved art, and now I've started drawing looking at them. So
That's one.
it's, it's a two-way road, and it's
Absolutely.
really good.
Absolutely, Vipash. Thank you. This was, even when I'm hearing your plans and when you're charting out what you want for them, it sounds very empowering as a woman. It sounds very uplifting because we put the victims under so much of stress and shame that they literally have nowhere to go. And I keep saying the word victim, I apologize, they're survivors. But what you're trying to do, Zubash, is one of its kind. I'm really so proud of you, Zubash. But this is just one factor, right? That we are trying to kind of have a narrative and change the conversation. But on a holistic scale, if you talk about the society, a society is still very patriarchal, still very, as you mentioned, women is meant to be subservient, right? So on a broader level, Zubash, what is that social impact that you hope to achieve via your brand?
Okay, the first thing is the stigma reduction,
Hmm.
because that's when I'll be able to bring the women
Hmm.
out of their homes,
Yeah.
and feel more confident about themselves. That would be my first, I would say,
Right.
my milestone, my benchmark, bringing them out, because
Hmm.
they can still they're staying home and they're working through home, but from homes,
Yeah.
and the confidence is still not there.
Hmm.
So the first thing would be the stigma reduction to challenge these societal stereotypes and
Right. Right. Right.
promote empathy,
Hmm.
which I learned this particular kind of empathy I learned from my mother-in-law. She's this is incredible woman, and normalize the narrative around domestic violence survivors and sexual assault survivors,
Hmm.
all of them. Also, the community building, as I mentioned before,
Yeah.
that there should be a supportive network of survivors and allies, advocates
Yeah.
who can, uh, and I'm sure that people who are working for it, towards it, for making, mm, bringing about the awareness and education,
Hmm.
the effects, the importance of consent.
Yes.
All
Always.
of these people are working for it, but
Hmm.
um, we won't be able to bring a change until these women are brought on, the main podium. Unko, I feel my job is to bring them at the front, in the front.
Hmm.
Okay, not like, I'm sure there are many designers, many people who are working with such people,
Right.
right? With such masses. But फिर भी, there's this barrier that is not letting them come
Yes.
in the front.
True.
अगर
True.
किसी का डिजाइन है तो let them come in. एक भी है तो they should come and showcase it, and
Yeah.
feel proud about it, and get all kinds of praises, and
Hmm.
that kind of feeling कि हाँ मैंने कुछ achieve किया है या मैं कुछ कर रही हूँ. I'm on a path to achieve something.
Hmm.
So that's one thing. um, Foster a culture of inclusivity, acceptance,
Hmm.
uh, women empowerment way. Economic empowerment is to contribute to the financial stability, and independence of women in my country, or if it goes beyond, definitely. And social change, which is like the highlight of every other project that's being conducted by many international organizations and everywhere. Like,
Right.
इतने ज्यादा हैं कि वो गिनती से बाहर हो गए, but still I
Now,
people are there who want to achieve something with it, and maybe cultural shift आएगा uh, towards a more compassionate and
yeah.
equitable society, inshallah.
Zupash, you raised a very important point is the notion and the whole idea of consent, right? Now, slowly conversations have started opening up towards consent, but again, it's a very gray zone, right? Now, women like you and me, we understand. Maybe some men like you and me who educate, they understand. But if I have to ask you to reverse engineer awareness in the lower rings of the society, people who are not as aware or as educated, how do you aim to spread awareness even in those sections of the society where there's a lot of domestic violence happening, that consent is important? You just can't take your partner for granted. How do you plan to do that section of awareness as well?
That's very challenge. That's a big challenge. And I've met women. I have friends. I have had people in my family who think that if you have to step out of the home, you must ask your husband.
Okay.
Right? The husband is given that that due respect that he should have according to my religion, my culture, name it, and women are giving that. Some women aren't, but they're like the exceptional ones. The ones that are the most of them are. Then why? I mean, there's a lack of severe, chronic lack of this empathy that is towards these women. That if you want, like, how do I phrase it? कि इन लोगों को अपनी wife से, you have to ask your wife if she's allowing you for something. Like, if you're there's this thin line between disrespect and respect. We the extreme kinds of consent, वो उस पे हम बात मैं अभी नहीं करूंगी. I'd like to the men to understand that women, they have their choices. They think, they have their heads, they have their brains. That is full of questions for you. Just sit someday and communicate.
Absolutely.
Communication, that has to happen between the couple, the spouses. Consent का जो मेन आइडिया है, वो कॉन्वर्सेशन जनरेट, वो स्टार्ट ही नहीं हो रही ना.
Absolutely.
अगर वो कॉन्वर्सेशन कोई स्टार्ट करे तो मे बी देन वी कैन एड्रेस द इशू. बट यहाँ पे the husbands, be it your country, my country, anywhere else, even I've seen this in the Angrez community, that they're like, they treat the husbands like gods. I don't have any issue with treating husbands like gods, but the husband should also treat the wife like goddesses, right?
I think, Zupash, this will be a little bit digressing off the topic, but how I understand this, and I mean no disrespect to anyone or any specific culture, most of it is what is already taught to us. Our mothers taught us, their mothers taught them that, always treat your husband with respect. But I wonder if the same thing has been taught to the men.
Yeah.
As long as that conversation is not coming on an equal platform, then there always will be this numerator denominator effect.
Yeah.
Because as daughters, we are always told, you have to take care of your husband. Whenever the son-in-law is arriving, you should see the mother of the bride is like on her feet. That no, he should not be upset. We should have to do everything to please him. But what happens on the other side? That is the conversation we need to start having. But I know that is going a bit off topic. Sorry, Zupash, were you saying something?
All right, that's all right. I'm okay with it. Please
but I'll come back to your brand and the whole purpose that you started Zayleen Ateliers. who's the target audience with your brand, Zupash? And how do you, because I was going through your whole business plan, so how do you aim to achieve the intersection between social change and sustainability when it comes to clothes and whatever we are putting on?
Okay, so the consumers of the brand is like women.
Hmm.
Everybody knows it. And also we are not charging them as much as other people are. I
Okay.
mean, we guarantee the fabric, which is a very eco-friendly material, but
Hmm.
that is sourced um, from sustainable material
Yeah.
fabrics, reducing waste, minimizing the environmental impact. That thing, people are very much talking about this factor these days, this point these days.
Hmm.
So giving them um, this kind of product that comes with the guarantee that you can, okay, this is kind of a product that can, be treated as an heirloom to, आप अपने बहू को भी pass on कर दो, not a problem.
Yeah.
It's long lasting.
Hmm.
And again, the the intersection between social change and sustainability, I would empower the women artisans, because there are women in the hindsight, वो वही बैठ के काम कर रही होती हैं.
Hmm.
They are the ones who are creating designs and working. They're giving they're given such low wages that
Yeah.
I don't think कि वो हाथ का काम done is being given the proper justice it should.
Hmm. Hmm.
Or um, I want to provide them fair wages.
Right.
Also safe working conditions,
Hmm.
जिसमें they don't feel threatened
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah.
At all. If they want to read a book or watch a movie or watch a drama
Hmm.
or discuss something while doing it, that helps them, take that trauma off their minds,
Hmm.
even for a day.
Yeah.
ज्यादा लंबी बात नहीं, अगर एक दिन के लिए भी they can take off that trauma
Yeah.
by talking to each other or being in a safe space and laughing and giggling and also doing their work. ठीक? This is what I want. And skill development opportunities, I want them to develop more skills. I am very much in love with the Indian embroidery and all that,
Hmm.
which is not, maybe it was practiced before in Pakistan, but I have not seen it, the Chanderi silks and,
Yeah.
the Banarsi saris and
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
So I have this, extreme liking towards it. I love those Banarsi saris and all.
Hmm.
So I want them to gain those skills as well.
Hmm.
How to make it with hand, and then how to market it and sell it, and then
Right.
all those things.
Amazing.
Because men are doing it. Men might source it from somewhere and sell it, and um, women are working for it. They're not given proper wages.
Hmm.
Also, I promote this slow fashion concept that encourages a mindful consumption
Hmm.
of reducing fast fashions, environmental and social consequences. ये एक बहुत बड़ी चीज है that should be addressed,
Hmm.
because women they keep hoarding and hoarding and hoarding, and एक दफा dress पहन लिया, they don't wear it again. That's I want to create something that is timeless,
Hmm. Hmm.
comfortable, affordable, and a piece that you can cherish at all times. पहनो, enjoy करो, different तरीके से style करो, all of that.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's one thing. And also I want to create these inclusive and accessible designs that cater towards different needs, diverse needs and abilities and body types, all kinds, all shapes, all kinds of beautiful, that thing.
I think your point on fast fashion and slow fashion hit me because I'm also guilty as charged. I don't know how this mindset has crept in that if I'm wearing one sari, I don't want to wear it again. I know it's a very toxic mindset, but good that you mentioned now. I think I'll have to be more mindful because the same problem. It's just hoarding up in the wardrobe and then you lose money. you're just kind of hoarding up and you're not becoming conscious about your surroundings as well. So thank you for bringing that up as well, Zupash. One last, excuse me, one last question, Zupash, is in our countries, we often come across cases of domestic violence, sexual assault. These are like everyday cases right now. You name it and you see cases coming up. So you want to employ these women, you are reading these cases. So on a specific day, Zupash, you have your own family, children. How do you take care of your mental health? And also, how do you aim to promote good mental health among your employees in the future?
Okay, so that's a very crucial question.
Mm,
And as someone who's like deeply invested in creating positive change in the society, um, it's very, very essential to prioritize my mental health. Only then I'll be able to,
absolutely.
pass on the mindset
Mm,
and create a positive environment for my team.
mm,
So, yes, you're right. There are news always, every other day, not every other day, every day I come across these news. So just right now, before this podcast started, I just came across this news. Somebody, a polio worker,
mm.
um, had to, go through the same thing, sexual assault, while she was on duty. So it hit me like really bad. कि if somebody's working, earning, वही घर से बाहर निकलना has become a threat to everyone, every places, all around the world.
Yeah.
So um, I'd like to, if to minimize the impact on my mental health, I'd like to set a boundary to myself,
Mm,
by limiting my exposure to distressing news when it takes a toll on me. Definitely, you have to stay, you have to have a relationship, a strong relationship with the current affairs in the
yeah.
country.
Yeah.
If you're not aware, you can't do anything, right? But there should be a boundary. You should take breaks from social media and these news cycles that are very, very distressing, right?
Mm,
And you should have I have a very supportive network in my home, my family, my friends. They're like very empathetic. They understand my work and the emotional toll it might take on me.
right.
So they're also very supportive.
Mm,
Um, Also, engaging, when I'm engaging with a very difficult content, I practice mindfulness. I acknowledge my emotions, and I try to love myself as much as possible. And then I think that is how I'll be, spreading love.
absolutely.
Also, reframing the focus on resilience and strength of survivors,
Mm,
the power of collective action,
mm,
and the progress I'll be making towards creating a more just society.
absolutely.
Yes, and
Thank
celebrating wins. Celebrating wins.
Oh, yeah.
Choti, badi,
Bilkul.
you know,
Yeah.
to maintain a sense of hope and motivation,
Mm,
I would always celebrate my wins. Choti badi ho, jo bhi ho.
that's wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you, Zubash. And if someone wants to connect with you, Zubash, where can we find you on social media? And your message to our listeners.
Okay, so first I'll go with a message.
Yeah, sure.
Uh, I'd like to thank you first that I just started with a small venture and you acknowledged it. You wanted me on the podcast. I'm really, really thankful to you. And to all the listeners, thank you for tuning in and being part of this small journey. I'd like to say every individual on this planet, without disability,
Mm,
any disease, disorders, whatever, they have the power to create a positive change.
mm,
This is what I've learned in my work experience
right.
throughout my life. This is what I've learned. And anybody can work to build a society that values empathy, inclusivity, and empowerment.
Mm,
And uh, I'd like to, educate myself as well. I'd like to keep myself aware
right.
and raise awareness
Wonderful.
to help people support everyone. You don't know who's going through what. Just, even a smile can make a lot of difference. Just give that and break down barriers, create a brighter future for all, a happy world. At least I want my children to have a happy world they'll
Yeah.
be living in.
Yeah.
So with that, guilt of me, being a doctor or काम ना करना at hospitals में and all that. I was like, मैं क्या करी? What am I giving to society?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, my children might question me कि you had a degree. You
Exactly.
could have brought some change. और कुछ तो कर लेती. So that's where the
Wonderful.
idea comes from, and I'd like to, you know, make a world a happy place for my children who are, coming from all kinds of families, distresses, abuse, whatever. Just make it a happy society.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And yes, my social media handles, it's Zayleen Ateliers on Instagram and on Facebook. And you can also connect me on my personal Instagram, which is also public. It's called Zupash, with the name Zupash. I'm always there. If anybody wants to, from across the borders, anywhere, we can provide them these dresses on their demand, whatever the design they want, the way they want to create, and they want to, and keep it forever. It's going to be like that, inshallah. So
Thank you, Zupash. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I'm deeply, deeply inspired by what you're trying to do and what you will do. So I wish you all the very best. And I know you will get where you want to go, because what you're doing is absolutely noble. So you have all my blessings and all my good luck for your endeavor. And I hope to have
means a lot.
now, obviously, I mean it from the heart, Zubash, because we all take a lot from the society, but how many of us have ever stopped and thought of giving it back, especially to these survivors who have such a lot of shame attached to what happened to them? And in the
Yeah.
future, I hope to have something ordered from Zayleen Atelier as well one day. But
Inshallah.
to my listeners, if you've heard me for the first time, so I was speaking with Dr. Zupash Khan from Pakistan. She's starting a new venture, Zayleen Ateliers, where she wants to give a chance to rape survivors, domestic violence survivors, rehabilitate them, their physical health, mental health, give them fair wage, and bring that awareness that, if you're assaulted, it's not your fault. If you're raped, it's not your fault. That awareness, that open conversation is what we need at this point of time in our society. So please take away from Dr. Khan's journey, Dr. Khan's words. And if this conversation is triggering, because we've spoken about assault and domestic violence, please step away and take care of your mental health. And if you've heard me for a while, I hope that you like the content that I put on the table. And if you've got any thoughts, questions, feedback, or critique, please write to me at awaz-e-haqiqat@gmail.com, or you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube as Awaz-e-Haqiqat as well. I'm more than happy to read your comments and thoughts. On that note, Zupash, thank you and wish you all the very best in the future. And I really hope we can stay connected. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Reciprocate feelings.